Alright, so as promised, here is the Amazon Fire Stick video I've been meaning to make for quite some time. Here is my Fire Stick, so I'm just going to go over some of the basics first. I'm not going to go over the initial setup because it's pretty straightforward. You plug it in, turn it on, and you choose your language, you enter your Wi-Fi password, and it will ask you to sign in with your Amazon account information, which is just your email address and your Amazon password. You do not have to be an Amazon Prime member to use the Fire Stick. Now, does it help? Yes. You'll have access to all the Amazon Prime videos, but you don't need it. So far our cost is just basically $20 to $30 for the Fire Stick, depending on which version you bought. So once you get through the initial setup and it does the updates and all that fun stuff, this is what you'll see. And if you already have one of these, stay tuned. You might learn something. I'm still learning stuff every day. In fact, the other day I learned Alexa can play, I think it's called Choose Between. We'll find out. So I'm going to push the microphone button and say, Alexa, let's play Choose Between. Turn it up.
Okay, here's Choose Between. Welcome to Choose Between. What can I help you choose between?
So she's asking what I need help choosing between. I will say red or blue.
I chose blue.
Blue, okay. So not the most scientific decision making, but if you need help just picking between two things, choose between. Who knew? So when you start your Fire Stick, I always ask everyone that I'm setting these up for, where are you right now? Because we can't navigate if you don't know where you are. And the answer is right here. You're at home. So your cursor always begins here. And as a matter of policy, I just get in the habit, I have gotten in the habit of just going down, down. So I push down, down twice on the remote. And the reason why is because pretty much 99.99% of everything that I want is going to be in the most recent area here. So today I did watch Malcolm in the Middle. I watched some YouTube. We watched some Netflix last night. I ran a cleaner. I'm not going to get into the details, but these are my most recent things. So most of what you're probably going to want is what you were doing recently. You're going to want to get to that next episode of that next TV show or whatever it may be, and that most recent does extend off the screen. But up at the top, you don't need me to read all of this, live TV, blah, 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 blah. I don't really care about the previews. Sometimes I'll watch those, but again, as a matter of policy, I will go down, down, and just kind of pick up where I left off. Your first order of business when you get your Fire Stick is to just download everything. It's kind of like a new computer. It doesn't always come with everything that you want, like Microsoft Office or a PDF viewer or something like that. So your first order of business is to just download everything. Think of each app as like a little box. It's hard to say what's in the box until you open it up, and the only way to open it up is to download it and install it. So download everything. If it even looks remotely interesting, you may lose interest in it later, but you won't know until you download it and try it. I'm just going to go through some of the apps that I have, and I'll go over what I consider must-have apps. YouTube is definitely one of them, so again, I've gone down, down. I'm going to go over to the right and kind of scroll through my recent apps and just kind of, you can decide for yourself if it's something you want. This is YouTube, is actually Smart YouTube, which hides the ads. Fancy way of getting it on there, but let's just say it's YouTube. Netflix, Amazon Music, this comes with the Fire Stick. You don't need to download it. If you are an Amazon Prime member and you just want to hear some music, you can push the little microphone button and say, play the Rolling Stones. She'll play songs by the Rolling Stones. If you want to hear, I don't know, Rolling Stones or maybe music similar to that genre, that era of music, I could say, play the Rolling Stones station, and she'll come up and play the Rolling Stones station. All ad-free, very cool. There's Comedy Central. I do like some comedy. Again, the only way to know if it's going to interest me is to download it, open it up, and see what's inside. Hulu, I actually don't have a Hulu subscription, but a lot of folks do. There's that one or two shows that Hulu owns the rights to, and you're probably going to want the, I think it starts off at $6 or maybe $10 a month for Hulu, and it can go as high as, I think they go as high as $25 a month, but they give you a lot of extras that I just don't care for. Here's an app I just recently downloaded to learn Chinese. Now, whether I'm actually going to pursue that or not, I don't know, but It's a fun little free app. I'm just trying to give you an idea of everything that the Fire Stick can do. It's not just for watching Netflix. And here's the actual YouTube app. Here's a show that I like. Some games, more games, more games, more games. Pluto TV. I think I mentioned this before, but I will go over it again. It is the closest thing you're going to get to the cable box that you're used to. So I do highly recommend everyone, if you're making the transition from cable to streaming service for the first time, Pluto TV is the way to go. It looks and feels, you get a menu, you got commercials, you have no control over when the TV shows stop and start. But for just kind of flipping around and seeing what's on, that's a great way to do it. They've got lots of news stations, movie stations. I think they have a channel. They have all these channels that play just one show, which is great. If you're a fan of, I don't know, Fear Factor, they have a Fear Factor channel. You can just watch Fear Factor 24 hours a day. Locast is another must-have app, especially if you want the local channels. So if you live in a major city or near a major city, I'll use myself as an example. Denver's pretty close, so because I live within the area, their coverage area, I do qualify for Locast. Unfortunately, I'll use Wyoming as an example. There are really no major stations in Wyoming that Locast has adopted yet. I'm sure they will pick up Cheyenne or Casper at some point in the future, but for some of my folks in Wyoming, they are SOL as far as using Locast. Denver's technically the closest city, but because they're over the state line, your IP address shows, hey, you're not in Colorado, so you don't get to watch the local stations. So I do have some rabbit ears back here for the local stations, but it doesn't really pick up everything, and I know that's an issue for a lot of folks. With Locast, you will get ABC, CBS, NBC, PBS, Fox, and a bunch of other channels that you didn't even know existed unless you just have some really big digital antenna. It's $5 a month. Now, if you don't pay the $5, they will let you watch some things, but I think after about 10 to 15 minutes, they'll kick you back to the main screen of the app and kind of go, hey, we're a nonprofit and we really need your donations to keep this going. But you pay the $5 a month. I think it's well worth it if you like all the local stuff. And you don't have to worry about whether you have a good signal or not from your antenna. Locast just streams it all to you over the internet. Continuing on, more games. I've just kind of dabbled in I really don't play this many games, don't judge. I do, but Travel Channel, there's an app for everything. Just about every channel has an app. I'm going to get into the details of how contracts work later because it's kind of a pain. You will be able to watch some things on the Travel Channel for free. Unfortunately, because of these contracts, if you want to watch everything the Travel Channel has to offer, just as a for instance, you do have to prove that you're a cable subscriber, which you're probably thinking, wait a minute, isn't the point of this to get away from cable? Yes, at least I hope it is for you. But because of these contracts, their hands are really tied. So you will be able to watch some things, but we're going to talk about the workarounds a little bit later. I may do a separate video because that's another story unto itself. CBS All Access, I'm guilty. There is one show that my wife and I watch on here we cannot find anywhere else. And for $6 a month extra to get CBS All Access, we can watch that one show. It does have commercials. I think there's a little bit more expensive package that you can pay for. It's like maybe $10 a month where there are no commercials. But I'm fine with the commercials. I'd rather keep the $3. Moving on, Les Mills is an exercise app. I'm just trying to give you an idea of what this thing can do. There is an app for just about everything. And Les Mills is great if you're into fitness, and I don't mean fitness pizza into my mouth, I mean fitness. That's actually a really cool app. It's probably $10, $15 a month, I don't remember, but you want to do some yoga or HIIT training, that kind of thing, really fun. T-Mobile's T-Vision, they just came out with that, so it's T-Mobile's own brand of, think of it like Netflix or anything else. I tried it, I didn't like it. So I said, hell with it. I don't even think that app's installed. But I encourage you to do that. Try it out. If they have a 30-day free trial, take advantage of it. Mark it on your calendar in 30 days. Decide by then whether you like it or not. And if you don't, you just unsubscribe and no charge. I'm going to go ahead and go down and just kind of flip. You could do this all day and just really explore. And I do encourage you to explore and see, if you see something that looks interesting, click on it. In fact, I'll just try Bloomberg Media. It sounds dreadfully boring, but I'm going to click the button, open it up. I'll probably fast forward through this part. And there we go. Here I have an app that I don't already have. It's highlighted in yellow. It says Get. I push the center button to get it. It downloads, it installs, and then once it's finished, it'll say Open, I believe. Click that, and then I can go explore Bloomberg Business News. No thank you. But if that's your thing, I'm not judging. Anyway, that's almost done. It's free. Now you will get a receipt for all of your apps. Any app that you download, it is tied to your Amazon account. But don't let that scare you. You will get a receipt for $0.00. So installing new apps does require a little patience, but you only have to do it once for each app. There we go. It's ready to open. We click the center button, the select button. And while we're waiting on this, it's very basic. Up, down, left, right. Other buttons, you got your home button, play and pause, fast forward, rewind, the back button, and these three little lines. The three little lines and three dots, as you may or may not know, is the international symbol for more options. You rarely use this on the FireTV stick, but there it is. And there's Bloomberg News. I can watch it if I want. I'm going to exit quickly. I'm just going to press the home button. And I feel sorry for those of you who already have one of these. If you're hoping to learn something, maybe this isn't that video. Or maybe you just want to fast forward through this and get to the juicy stuff. Now let's say there's a show that I'm looking for and I just want to see if it's available, because that's the first order of business for a lot of folks is, will I be able to watch this show or that show? My the husband always has the sports or something like that. I'm sorry I can't help you with sports because I don't watch sports. There's an NFL app, there's an ESPN app, there's a bunch of different apps for sports, and I encourage you to download each one and explore and see what it's capable of doing. I'm going to pick on probably the worst show I can think of. I don't watch regular TV, as it were. I do have a cable box down here. It is disconnected, and if it were not owned by my HOA, I would throw it off the balcony. That's what I think of cable. But it stays there, and God forbid I have to move out someday. The next resident will inherit that giant piece of garbage. I'm going to pick on The Bachelorette. I don't know what people watch because I think it's all crap anyway. I'm going to search for The Bachelorette. So I'm going to push the microphone button. I'm just going to say The Bachelorette. And Alexa pretty much knows what I want. The Bachelorette. And here we go. We should get some results. There we go. We've got a bunch of Bachelorette options here. Now, you're probably going, why are there 6 or 7 of them? We're about to find out. I'm going to pick the first one because it's the most likely culprit. Now, I'm just going to select it. It is already highlighted, so we open it up. First thing we see is, here it is, and good Lord. I'm so sorry for any of you who actually like this show. This one, the newer episodes were on season 12. It doesn't have a year, but I'm assuming that's the most recent season. It does say watch with HBO Max, so it is a paid service. Now you get a 7-day free trial. Try it out. Maybe there's some other stuff on there you'll want. Very important. Always check more ways to watch. So I'm going to go to the right and more ways to watch. Open it up. What I'm looking for is, does somebody else own the rights to it as well? Because there's a chance I might be able to watch it for free through IMDb or a number of other apps. In this case, no. We can pay Amazon to watch one episode at a time. We can buy the entire season in high definition or standard definition. But regardless, we're only left with one option, and that means we've got to pay for HBO Max to watch this particular show. Now I'm going to go back by pressing the back button here. This takes us right back to where we left off. I want to go back yet another page. I don't want to go home. I just want to go back to our search results. I'm going to go to the next one. Maybe I can watch an older season. We know that the newest season is owned by HBO. Let's look at the next one and see what happened. Now this one says 2003, so this is definitely an older season, but if it's free, why not? Now it says watch with the Netflix, so if you're a Netflix subscriber, congratulations, you get older seasons of The Bachelorette. Let's go back and go to the next one. This one says Bachelorette 2020 Recap. I have no idea what that means, but maybe that interests some of you. This one, to add to the confusion, is owned by Amazon. So if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you can watch whatever this stuff is. You can look at seasons and episodes, but there's actually only one episode. So Amazon was generous enough to pay for the rights to that one episode, whatever that is. I'm going to go on to the next one. Now this looks like a placeholder, and you may see this sometimes where there's actually nothing there. It says episode 10 is currently unavailable, and I did check this out before making this video, so I know that all the rest of these are actually just placeholders. Maybe in the future they will fill them up and decide who is going to buy those particular seasons and make those available to you. So I hope that's of some help. When you're looking for any show, always look for more ways to watch, because you'll be surprised how often there is a show that is normally paid, you can watch it for free on another app. Now that usually implies that you're going to get commercials, but who cares? Free is free. Next thing I want to go over is, let's say there's a movie. I know it's starring Tom Cruise. I can't remember the name of it. I'm going to push the microphone button here and just say, movies with Tom Cruise. And Alexa's pretty smart. She knows how to show you movies with Tom Cruise. And there we go. Here we have an entire section of free movies with ads from your subscriptions. I'm guessing this implies paid subscriptions. So if I open this first one up here, yeah, it is a Prime thing, and you'll find that some of these belong to different streaming services. Free with ads. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I was going over this the other day with a customer, and they wanted to watch this one movie, and come to find out it was through a paid service, and they said to heck with it. Now this is where YouTube comes in. YouTube is not just a bunch of stupid crap like I had previously thought. Believe it or not, I just had the wrong idea about YouTube. So I'm going to, now I don't see YouTube, let's pretend this wasn't here. Let's say we just don't see what we're looking for. This is great. As a for instance, in general, I don't see the app I'm looking for. Okay? So I'm just going to say, open YouTube. Open YouTube.
Here's YouTube.
Thank you, Alexa. Isn't this fun? I could do this all day. I usually spend about an hour showing folks how to use the Fire Stick. What I'm really teaching them is how to talk to Alexa, because a lot of it I hope you will take advantage of the voice commands. So now that we're in YouTube, one important note here is that now when I speak to Alexa, it is implied that I want to search within YouTube and YouTube only. And this is the only app that I know of that does this. Once I go back to the home screen and I tell Alexa to search for something, she's going to search everything. But when I have YouTube open, it is implied that she's only going to search YouTube, and she'll say as such. She will say, getting that from YouTube. So let's do a how-to. Let's say my vacuum cleaner is broken. I don't know. So I need to know how to repair the belt on a vacuum cleaner. Here we go. How to repair the belt on a vacuum cleaner. I probably could have chosen something better, but
Getting that from YouTube.
there we go. Getting that from YouTube. That's not exactly what we want, but yeah, that's close enough. Broken vacuum belt, broken vacuum. And we could scroll through and just see lots of tutorials on how to replace the belt on a Bissell power, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. I'm not going to waste time on that. From the home screen, and I'm going to go back completely home to the main screen. Now, again, it is not implied that I want to search YouTube. So if you want to search YouTube, you need to say search YouTube for, and so on. You can say the same for Netflix. Search Netflix for. I'm going to open, let's do another one on YouTube. Okay, I'm into exercise. So I want to, I don't know, gain increase my reps and push-ups or something like that. Let's just pick on something. So I'm just going to say, search YouTube for how to increase push-ups.
Getting that from YouTube.
And there we go. That simple. She's very smart. Okay, so back to the original point I was going to make about YouTube, and that was movies. There are a lot of free things on YouTube, full episodes of TV shows. Let's go back to YouTube, and let's see what we can find. I'll think of something clever. I'll start with movies. Again, once YouTube is open, it is implied that I want to search within YouTube, so all I have to say is movies, or free movies. Let's try that out. Free movies. Turn the volume back up. We can hear.
Getting that from YouTube.
There we go. Thank you, Alexa. Okay, Deadpool 2. Full movie free. Who knew? There's a bunch of stuff. I'm not saying it's all good stuff, but they're movies. What do you want? Let's see here. One of my favorite shows is, unfortunately, Family Guy. And there are a lot of free episodes. I don't know how they get away with it. Not my problem. Family Guy. So she's going to search.
Getting that from YouTube.
Well, let's see what happens. Now this one says paid show, but if we continue on, I'm just going to go over to the right here. And we have full episodes, 25 minutes, 21 minutes. Anyway, pick your show. You'd be surprised. Somebody asked me that the other day if they could watch Gunsmoke, I believe it was. Let's try that one out. Gunsmoke.
Getting that from YouTube.
Okay. There we go. Episodes of Gunsmoke. 48 minutes. 5 minutes. Let's just go back. This one says there are 48 videos. I'm guessing they're full episodes. Seems to work. So if that's your bag, there you go. Lots of free stuff on YouTube. Take some time to learn and play with that. I think I'm going to wrap it up for now and call this video 1. We'll get into maybe like an intermediate Fire Stick TV video next. I think I'm just kind of shooting at the hip. If you can't tell, I'm not reading from a script. I did not plan this out, but so far so good. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and pay attention. What do they say? Like, subscribe. No, I don't do all that. I don't care if you like or subscribe. Comments are disabled because I just, if you need to get a hold of me, you know how to get a hold of me. So stay tuned. Thanks. Bye.